I'm from the University of Plymouth. I've got a long name, so people know me as PG. I'm from Sri Lanka, so remember as PG Tips. So, uh, what we are here to do is the university recognizes that education is something that should be open to everybody at all stages of life, and that education is about learning to live meaningful lives in the society. So in order to do that, we need to have the community that we live in engage with our students and our staff. And that is the reason, that is the force that drives us to reach out to the community to say, come, help make us better people of ourselves, and in the process, be empowered yourself. And today, I met people who have been to the city for the first time, and who come here, people who have never been to the university before, and people who have been in the university, left Plymouth, and come back. And in order to make this connection between the students, the staff, and the community, we have a group called the Global Plymouth Makeup Group. The membership is free. We have over 500 members in the community and students and staff, and we have run over 30 projects. This is one of them. Not everyone is as big as this. Some take place in a very small confined space. We have a monthly dinner where you get all kinds of international food that you're welcome to share. We have music events, we have everything. But in doing so, we are creating opportunities for our students and staff to have the confidence to meet with the community and work within the confines and the values of the community system, so that we are not led by whatever speciality we learn. Majority of the students who are here, there are lots, are medical students, but we are learning to work outside and learning to work with the community and rebuild the trust that we have lost. What really makes me very emotional today is to introduce the next speaker, because this is a person I've known from her childhood. I happen to be a neighbor. Her parents saved me when I was dying from COVID. But this young lady, who's inspirational by any definition of the word, had to undergo a really traumatic experience at the beginning of this month, just the beginning of this month. And she had already volunteered to be here and be a member to help this. But in the process, when she went through this, she just said, PG, can I speak to the people who come? And the message she carries stunned me, because it's not what I expected from a 16-year-old girl. I'll leave it at that, and let me have the privilege of introducing Chantal. Best of luck, darling.
3rd of November at 9:02, I lost a pal to his mental health before the school day even started. So he left the house just a normal day, like you would think, and his parents thought that he was going to school, and no one knew. And I spoke to my dear guardian angel on Tuesday and Wednesday, and even though I asked if he was okay, he said yes. This really does go to show that you never really know what someone's generally going through. They can say they're okay, have the biggest, most precious smile on their face, and they're going through absolute hell. You'd never think about it, because they give such a special and most supporting, loving energy, when behind the scenes they're just like, they go from a sunny day to absolutely pouring, thundering, the worst weather you can think of. Kind of reminds me of living in England, being in like the rain, not having any sun or nothing, just rain. And for him, I think that's what really was going on in his head. He projected out a beautiful, sunny day, inspirational, most loving boy really I have ever met. And for me, he was not only a friend, but he was my first friend when I moved to this country in primary school in year 3. And he was always there for me. I remember we went on a walk together and we were just walking along, having a conversation, just talking about just general life as kids. And I remember doing this, and he was just telling me he was struggling at that time, but I never really thought that he could, the way out of him being in a rainy day was to do something like that. And by all means, I don't have anything necessarily against it, but it's just like, I feel like I could have done something, but because you never really know what's going on, you can't put blame and guilt on yourself. it's not your fault. Just because you didn't notice it, that doesn't mean you're a bad individual or you're a bad friend. It's purely because they didn't know how to do it. And also, I just feel like as a lad in this society, you feel like you're unheard and you don't have a voice. And just take away the top layers of female and male anatomy, emotions, just the way you deal with things are the same. Within society, women have such a louder voice and will be looked after more than men. People say about equality, but there will never be equality because their words don't match up with their actions. People say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this change, but they don't do it with their actions. They just say words, they're just words without actions backing them up, really. And then women are like Bluetooth. They connect with their emotions. We could cry, we could complain, and we connect in that way, but men can't because within society, they feel that they have to put a guard up, they have to be strong, they can't do anything because they feel like if they actually genuinely speak about their emotions and how they're struggling, within society they'll be downgraded, they won't have their masculine side, they'll just be just like women. And then within society there's such a big difference between men and women. Men should be superior and have their guards up all the time and act tough. And then women can share their emotions, be upset, and men can't do that. So I've done research, and this research really, really shocked me. You think it's not going to be that bad, where really it is. Statistics show that 3 times as many men as women die by suicide. That shocked me. Men aged 40 to 49 have the highest suicide rates in the UK alone. Rates for mental health problems increases, and so does self-harm and imprisons. Men report lower levels of life satisfaction than women according to the National Government Wellbeing Survey. Men are less likely to access psychological therapies than women. Only 36% of referrals of the NHS talking therapies are only men. That leads me to my other point. Nearly 3/4 of men, of adults who go missing, are men. Men alone. So that means that around 87% of rough sleepers are men. Men are nearly 3 times as likely as women to become dependent on alcohol and 3 times as likely to report frequent drug use. So take that into consideration when you see some blood. He could be completely out of it, but automatically we judge that person on being an alcoholic, a drug addict, when you don't know their reason behind it. I get it, drugs, alcohol are bad, but the story behind it is they're really, really struggling. And most of the people that you will see out on the street struggling are men. Men are more likely to be compulsory detained or sectioned for treatment than women. Take into consideration when we had the whole thing going on social media about woke. A woman's walking alone at night, a man minding his own business, walking the dog, and if a woman throws an accusation at a man, the man will be more likely to be under investigation and more likely to be accused than women. Men are nearly times as likely, also, victims of violent crime, an estimated 1.5 likely more than women. Men make up a vast majority of the prison population. These are very, very, very high. My dear friend, I'm sorry that you felt alone. My sweet angel, rest easy. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you go away from this event really checking up, not only on all of your friends, but mostly your male friends. And also, thank you, and I hope you really try and spread more awareness on this topic. Thank you.